Hey, welcome back to Main Irish Angling TV. So we're going to have a quick look at some of the new sticky bait stuff that's just come into store. I'm out fishing on the loch. It's I think the 8th of March. It's freezing cold. We've had rain all last night. We've had a very cold wind. Conditions are very wintry. Midweek last week, this place was rammed with ice. So the water temperature is cold, so you're looking for the little edges. You're not putting in lots and lots of feed, but you're looking for the edges that are going to amplify your hook bait. So first things first, a lot of us are using pop-ups here, and these are the new range of sprays for the range of pop-ups that they do. Now, it doesn't have to be used on a pop-up, it can be used on any hook bait, to be honest with you. But what they've done is they've made these a little bit more sort of water soluble and more liquidy. Some of the glugs that we tend to glug our hook baits in have a tendency to be quite gloopy, quite thick and viscousy. And sometimes they, you know, if you soak your baits too long in those, especially if they're pop-ups, they can alter the actual pop-up viability of the actual hook bait. Because as they soak in the extracts into the core of the pop-up, it can lose its buoyancy because of the density of the glug. They decided to bring out these. There's one for everyone in the audience. Pretty much all their range is covered. So you have peach and pepper, you have white chocolate, you have bloodworm, you have vortex, pineapple and N-butyric acid. You have the signature range, you have the buccaberry, and you obviously then have the piece de la resistance, the krill, one of my favorite baits ever. So as I said, nice little handy sprays. You can just either take your hook bait and spray your hook bait before you cast, or you can spray into a glug pot to keep them chopping up. Really handy little bottles. They're not too expensive either, and they're a great way, as I say, of amplifying your hook bait signal. And one that I'll be using a huge amount of. I always like to use this time of year something that's got quite a bit of pungent smell, because I think the fish react to it better. Having something like that to spray out before you cast out. I've been using the krill all weekend on both the white pop-ups and the standard brown pop-ups, and it's been working a treat. There's a couple of other products here that I've been using this weekend that seem to have been working really well. This is the L030T. It's a fish extract, and this one, I have to say, is a doozy. It's not overly powerful in its rankness. Most of these fish extracts, it's you know, they blow the head off you with that fishy smell, but not so with this one. But this has a great amino profile. What I've been doing on this trip is I've given my krill hook baits a quick spray with the krill spray. I then stuck them in that while I'm waiting between fish, and then just before I recast, I take it out of the dip, and then I put it into the pure betain powder. And the betain powder, as it says, is a betain crystal, and I roll it around in that so it adheres to the glug, and then I just whack it out. Now, I've been using that system. Obviously, I haven't been using the betain from Sticky, because that's only new on the market, but I've been using the betain powder in that form for a long time. 15 years, and it's served me well. I always found it was a great way of nicking a bite when it was scratching time. I've utmost confidence in it. So that's the betain powder. Now, the betain powder can be sprinkled into your ground baits. It can be, you know, your stick mix. It can also be put into your hook bait boilies. If you're making up main batches of boilies, you can put it in your actual base mix. It's an outstanding attractant. As I coming back to the L030T, this is probably the wrong time of year to be using something so viscousy as this, but it's still catching me fish, so I'm not going to knock it. The actual glug here, as I say, can be poured into stick mix. It can be poured into your base mix as you're making up or rolling hook baits. It's just a great all-round, and you can't overdose with this because it's a natural product. You can put in as much or as little as you can afford. Moving along, we've got pure GLM extract, which is green lipid mussel. Anybody who's been around a good while will know that green lipid mussel extract is another winner. It's one of those things you can, again, dip your hook baits in before you cast. You can add it to your hook baits when you're rolling them. It's just an all-around great attractant. You know, a little teaspoon of this and a teaspoon of the betain into your stick mix, it will certainly kick it and make it come alive. Staying on the liquid additives, this is the new aqua amino. Again, it's kind of, there's been a glut of these on the market. recently, but I love pretty much all amino acid based liquids. I do think it sends a nice trigger, and this is something that you could use as a glug for your hook baits, but more importantly, stick mixes or PVA bags, and put a bit in, and it's going to amplify the area where the fish are feeding. It will home them in. There's a lot of scientific research done. Aminos do make a difference to your baits, hands down. So I would recommend you have a look at them, and they're not exactly expensive. Now this one here, I have to say, is one I've been really looking forward to. This is the krill hook bait kit. Now the krill hook bait kit, basically what they've done is they've put enough powder, and all the instructions are in this, so that you can hand roll some hook baits, and when you hand roll them, they will come out slightly tougher, slightly more durable than if you were to take them out of the actual kilo bags, whether it be freezer or ready-made. The reason being is they've added a little bit of an ingredient to add a bit more of a rubbery texture to stop, nuisance fish pecking away. If you take, say, the freezer range, when you take them out of the bag, they are very, very soft. You can actually push them with your thumb and finger and they'll break open. Once you make them up with this particular mix, not so. And also it gives you a little bit more play. You can add some more krill extracts. You can add, GLM, betain, some of the amino, aqua amino, LZ30T. It depends on your humour, but you can actually just tweak your hook baits to make them, again, a little bit more amplification in the zone where you're fishing. Make them stand out from your freebies, but to be still on the same page as your freebies. So as I said, they made this on the basis of, anglers wanted a small little tub that they could just dip into, make one egg mix, make up some corkball pop-ups, or make up some, a little bit harder hook baits, let them dry out for a little bit, and then into a pot with some of the amino products, and they'll stay indefinitely then. Great little idea, and again, it's not exactly expensive, but it's a great way of tweaking your hook baits so that you can actually fish more effectively when you're out, because let's face it, there's nothing worse than winding in the next morning to find that your hook bait's been snaffled off the actual hair and you've been fishing with no bait for the last 10 hours. So having something like this is going to be a godsend, and one that I'll be using a lot this year. So that's a quick look at some of the new range of enhancers and extracts and glugs from the StickyBaits range. If you haven't used StickyBaits today, suggest you do. Absolutely confidence in all the range. It's a small range, but what they have done is they've kept it nice, concise, and very, very fish friendly. Fish love them. So this is Jerry, this is Main Irish Angling TV, and we'll see you in the next video.